Hey guys, Alex from 7th Hour Films back again with Delicious in Dungeon. Almost forgot what this is called. Last time around we had Dryad and Cockatrice, where basically, the gang was trying to find their way out while also trying to find anything, literally anything to eat. And they wound up fighting some Dryads and then ended up fighting a Cockatrice, not to be confused with a Basilisk. Also, Marcel taught Laios how to use some magic, and then she was bitten by the snake head of the Cockatrice, which turned her to stone, and they had to spend about 4 days trying to get her back, but they did it, or it wore off. Naturally, something happened, but they got out of there, and that's pretty much where we left off. We're in dire straits right now. Like, that fight with the dragon took everything out of us, and now we've been running on fumes for the past 3 episodes or so. Let's see if we can get somewhere with this. Hopefully make it back to the surface, but we'll have to see. Like always, the reaction is down in the description and in the pinned comment for your viewing pleasure, so let's go ahead and jump right into this episode of Delicious in Dungeon. Here we go. I really can't get a read on Kabru. I don't get him. And I guess that's kind of the point, is that he's kind of mysterious. He's seeing how things turn out. He doesn't want to just go in and make assumptions. He bases everything off of evidence, but he's open to new things, He has his reservations, like saying, it's an adventurer's duty to kill the orcs. But he doesn't act on it so hard. He doesn't act rashly when it comes to this stuff, when it comes to confronting Laios. So it's interesting. It's interesting, I just can't get a read on him, Alright, well, let's just go through one thing at a time. Let's start off with Laios can see ghosts. He sees dead people. That's interesting. I guess, honestly, it's like, now that he's tapping into magic and his own reserve of mana, it makes sense that he would have... his magic would be so similar to Fallon's, If anything, they have identical blood, They're almost identical, basically, Just, obviously a little different, but as siblings, they're very, very close together, So, it makes sense that he can see ghosts in the same way that Fallon can, but he doesn't have a very big grasp on it yet, so that's interesting. Cleaners, little midichlorians. I know they're not, but just these little... they're the size of ants. They're not even microscopic. They're like the size of ants. So yeah. But it seems nice. That's an interesting thing, that they use their sort of secretions to fix things about the dungeon, Because obviously, it's not like the Mad Mage, has like a payroll of janitors that just come and clean up. They just come in. They're normal people. Otherwise, they just work for the Mad Mage. All this mystery surrounding the Mad Mage who built the dungeon and all this stuff, and they just get some, a couple guys named Frank that come in and clean up. I apologize. I apologize to anyone named Frank if I'm insulting you for calling you a janitor. I'm also sorry to janitors if I insulted you for calling you Frank. So, you gotta make sure everyone's okay. You don't want to offend people. I don't want to offend people named Frank, and I don't want to offend people named janitors. But hey, shout out to you if you are a janitor named Frank. Shout out to you, and shout out to janitors and all people named Frank, unless you're a bad Frank, or if you're a bad janitor. So, I think I've covered my bases there. Anyway. But yeah, little cleaners. That's pretty cool. I like using that to their advantage, of getting inside. Excuse me. Getting inside the wall to hide from the blood dragons. So. Oh, goodness gracious. And yeah, we met up with Shuro. This man, I know it's like, this intense thing of black magic, and now everyone's really tense and stuff. It's like, motherfucker, eat some food. God damn it, man. It's like, it's amazing that they've made it this far without that, It's amazing. I mean, not that they made it that far without food, but it's amazing he's made it that far, eating so little. And it's like, bro, you gotta friggin' eat. Fallon would want you to take care of yourself. I mean the actual Fallon, not whatever Fallon Dragon Centaur is happening. But that was an interesting chat. Again, Kabru, though, like, I can't get a read on him. He keeps things close to the chest, definitely. Like, when Lio starts talking about eating monsters and stuff, I feel like there is some genuine curiosity and amusement that Kabru has in hearing that. But at the same time, he does still have his reservations, like, why who is that fucked in the mind to try that? It's like, even if that's interesting, it's like, who is that screwed up to try that? And he's like, something's weird. I guess that's part of it, though, is that he, where I can't get I can't get a read on Kabru, he can't get a read on Laios, which I guess is the difference of watching the show and seeing everything that Laios does. Is we have the track inside his mind, and we can understand a lot of this stuff. We're 16 episodes in. Eating monsters sounds normal to us, but we've been here this whole time. For Kabru and also for Shuro, it's just like, what? What are you doing? Excuse me? So yeah, so that's really interesting. But they definitely have reservations. Even the whole thing of like, we're not going to confront them about stealing our treasure and stuff, and it's just like, because he is reading that a little bit with Laios when he said that, and it's just like, there's no guilt, so it's like either he forgot it, they didn't, we're pinning this on the wrong people or something. I was like, there's now too many variables to just be like, well, it's not a cut and dry thing of they stole it and they are guilty of stealing our stuff and being bad and stuff. It's like, it's not cut and dry, so Kabru's kind of letting it go. It's not big enough to make it's not enough to make a big deal over, basically. So he's keeping things, he's holding things back. I mean, that's the fact that it's like, the fact that Laios is like, oh, Shuro, let's go over so I can tell you everything, and Kabru immediately jumps in to help him out. He's gonna help him out, help Shuro over there because he's got very low energy right now. But then he sticks around because he has to hear everything. So he has to hear everything because he has to figure out what's going on. Like he's basically realized, he's now getting into a bigger situation. Like, this goes well beyond them stealing Kabru's treasure, that party's treasure. It goes far beyond that, and with every passing thing, it's like, something's going on, There's something bigger going on, and Kabru's trying to figure that out. So I guess that's the thing with him, is that, he's slowly trying to piece things together. He sits back, he observes, he listens, but he doesn't jump to rash conclusions. And that is very interesting. It is very interesting, even if it's like, because of how much he sort of keeps inside, you honestly can't get too much of a read on him, So yeah, and even him hearing that they used black magic, it's just like, interesting. Like, he's not like disgusted. I mean, Shuro was completely, disgusted by that. But with Kabru, he's hearing that and he's shaken. He's shook up a bit because of that. But at the same time, he's like, what an interesting thing. they use black magic as like, it's just, for him now, the plot thickens, you know? The plot thickens, you know, there's more to this than you would even guess, so it's interesting. I do definitely like Cabra, especially now, like, going through this episode and talking it through here. It's like, now it's like, yeah, he's an interesting character. Like, you know, what was it, 2 episodes ago, that one I felt like is like, okay, well, I feel like you're reaching on some of this, but I also think that because I follow this party, it's like they have these assumptions about Laios and his party, but we know that it's not true. So I was just like, man, where are we going with this? And now it's like, okay, he's still not just going in. It's like, I gotta confront you or for all this stuff. It's like, no, he is sticking back. He's observing. He's trying to get all the information he can so that he can make a proper decision of what needs to be done. You know, he's very, very strategic. He's very much a strategist. On top of being just an excellent warrior, but he's definitely just he's standing back and he's listening, and because he doesn't want to rush into something. So yeah, that was really, really interesting. I'm enjoying this. I mean, you know, it was pretty much since, I don't know, what episode was that? It was episode 10 when we got the above ground stuff. Pretty much since episode 10, there's been like way more, I guess, for lack of a better word, political intrigue, you know? It's not exactly, because, I mean, it's the politics of a dungeon, you know, a medieval fantasy dungeon, but still, I mean, like, you know, with that, you know, we have the stuff on the above ground of, you know, the dwarves, the lord of the island, you have the elves and stuff, so there's like geopolitics going on, and now we have everything going on within the dungeon itself, you know, and how all of that's working, piecing in all of this, really just being based on a man is trying to get his sister back, and just everything keeps going wrong, and more and more and more and more people are being dragged into this, pretty much with every passing episode, you know? So it's like honestly, for lack of a better term, it is a lot of political intrigue, or even just mystery going on with this, and like strategy being developed in a show where I thought we were just gonna cook a goofy meal every episode, you know? And we still get that. We still get our goofy meals, but still. So, boy, oh boy. So yeah, I don't know. We got less than 10 episodes now, because now we got about eight episodes left of this season. So, man, I'll be curious. I haven't heard anything if there's going to be a second season or not. I hope so. Maybe I just missed that because I wasn't paying attention before watching this show. But yeah, I'm really curious, and I do hope this show goes on. So I think it was pretty popular, so I don't imagine it not getting another season, you know? I mean, let me tell you, there are some anime that I watch that are 12-episode anime, and I watch them and I'm like, well, I really like that, but I don't think anybody else friggin' watched this show. And so I'm just like, okay, I better head off to the manga or the light novels, because I am not getting another friggin' season out of this show. But this show, I'm pretty positive. They just, I don't know, I haven't heard anything, so I guess I could look it up. I'm right here and I have a phone. I could look it up and see what we've got. Okay, yes. So season 2 was confirmed. Okay, that's good. So they did confirm a season 2, and I didn't read any spoilers or anything, but it just said season 2 has been confirmed, and people are speculating that it will be sometime next year. So that'll be interesting. Good. I'm glad, because I really like this show. This and Frieren. You know me. I'm getting my medieval fantasy fix now. I'm just like way into medieval fantasies now. So yeah. So it's nice. But yeah, that is basically it. With all of that being said, I'm Alex from 7th Hour Films, and I will see you guys next time. Take care. Alright guys, thanks for watching this video. There's a bunch of links on screen if you want to go click around any of those. There's a playlist with all of my Delicious in Dungeon reactions, as well as another video you can go click on if you want. There's also a subscribe button and a Patreon button on screen, as well as other links in the description if you want to go check out any of those. See you guys later.